Like, imagine if Hay was, like, your sister. How would you feel if this reporter was reopening her case, like, 15 years later, thinking about her murder, all this kind of stuff?
Honestly, it depends. It really depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. If Hay was my sister, then obviously I feel like I would think that he had killed her. I wouldn't think anything otherwise, right? Because if you're in that position, you want to find who can be blamed for that action. But so if you were to go and reopen the case 15 years later, like, obviously that's a big thing to do. And 15 years later, it's settled. Like, if I were Hay's sister, I think I would feel, why is there a need to do that? But if I was... Sorry, go ahead.
It was, like, all that trauma that they had experienced during her, like, death. It all was coming up again.
Exactly. But then if I were part of his family, like, I think if I thought that he had a second chance, if it wasn't him, obviously I would want the case to be opened back up, because, first of all, it was already made public in the first place. As soon as Hay was killed, the whole story was public. So by opening the podcast up and by doing all this research, even though it's several years later and there is a chance to get him out of jail for something maybe he didn't do, then obviously I would take that opportunity. How would you feel if you were in either of the family's positions?
Oh, God. I think I'm biased because I'm always like, put the murderers in jail, you know? I think I'm really biased, but I would feel really hurt if I was in Hay's family. But if the journalist had asked, like, had come to me and been like, hey, is it okay if we reopen this case? I would have definitely been like, okay, yeah, sure. If I was part of Adnan's family, I don't think I would personally, like, I think I would agree with the verdict that he was guilty. And I think it's just because I have this belief that if somebody is charged, there's good reasoning behind it. I mean, it all comes down to your personal perspective, right? Everybody has their different opinions.